Hello guys, joining both on stream and on directly Zoom if you want to be a bit more of a direct participant. I'm Anthony, the CEO and co-founder of Encode. You get me today. This is a big and important program that we want you to participate in, so I am here with you. The structure of this session is I am going to go through the logistics of the program, what we expect from you, what you'd like you to build before handing over to Shreyas, who will give us a little bit of a general overview about Canton. This is more of a streaming session, so if you do have questions, we ask you to take them to the platform and to the Discord in order to so others can see. This talk will be available as a lecture afterwards for you to re-watch. That goes for all the talks over the coming days. So if you indulge me to share my screen, which I'm going to do shortly. I'll just do one thing very quickly because I want to show it from your view as well. Good. Nice. Share screen. Okay. I'm going to use the lens of this page, which hopefully you are all familiar with. This is the general page for the program. This is a 4-week Canton Hackathon. I know a lot of you are experienced and very good and have done our events before. We are aiming to build institutional grade financial applications on Canton, one of the leading financial protocols and ecosystems at the moment that has emerged over the last few months and recently. This is a 4-week hackathon. If I go to the schedule, which means in classic Encode style, we're going to ask you to learn from our workshops over the first 2 weeks, all available from the platform you are on now. So well done, either via stream, either via direct if you want to ask questions, or available in retrospect via the platform. Questions should go via Discord, which I will show you how to access shortly. We have checkpoints, which I'll go through in a little bit, but we want you to learn from the workshops. We want you to then start building in about 2 weeks or so before finally submitting in about a month's time before being judged. Encode programs have checkpoints. These are accountability steps to make sure you're building and engaging with the program and following the path we do want. We ask that by the end of this week, you have created some sort of project and team. I'll show you on the platform what that looks like. And you have a second one at the end of the second week where we get an idea of your programs. This is not full Battle Royale style. You are not kicked out if you are not good enough. You're only kicked out if you are not organized enough to make sure that you have met these checkpoints. And of course, you're definitely kicked out if you don't submit at the end by the 12th. And we'll have a finale for the best teams to pitch for the overall prizes at the end. So that's broadly the schedule. Facilitating that schedule is a number of workshops. The deep dive, which is on Wednesday, the ecosystem overview, which is a week on Tuesday, as the main sources of content, and more that Shreyas is going to share with you. The broad challenge of this program, with a prize pool of $7,000 available, is to build applications that are bringing users to Canton around private DeFi, TradFi and RWA, and payments and neo-banking as well. All of this can be found in detail on the platform, along with FAQs to answer whatever you may wish. If I reload this, I should now be a participant. I'm going to prove myself very quickly. Canton. You can see a little bit behind the scenes, proving myself. We'll give that a moment to load. There we go. Right. So this is what you should see. We should see all interactions of workshops will be through this. And then, come on, open program. Finally. Okay, so this is your dashboard to engage with the program as a whole. This workshop, which you can see now, I hope you're all there. It makes sense if you're listening to me. Always available directly via platform and emailed to you, and then we'll go up here afterwards. The most important thing is you need to create your project. This actually is part of checkpoint 1. It is not enough just to create it here. You also need to submit proof that you've done so on stage 1. This will open up in a few days once you've done so. But if I make a project, we'll call it Project Bunny. I'm going to create a project. I can invite team members as well. You can talk directly with Giles from our team or otherwise, and then you will be able to, once you've done that, you will basically pass checkpoint 1, which is great. Checkpoint 2 is your ideation, and checkpoint 3 is your final submission. All should be fairly straightforward. You can then choose which challenge you're going for, private DeFi, TradFi, or payments as well. Discord is also there. Mine must already be connected. My Discord has disappeared. We'll go and find that in a second. But otherwise, you can find all the details about the challenges and everything that you'll need to do here, as well as interacting with our team. I should say to all of you, we are aware that people like using AI tools. We encourage the use of AI tools. You're going to see one that Shreyas is going to demonstrate in a moment, or see some at least documentation related stuff. That is absolutely fine within this event, but we do ask you stick by the rules of integrity. That code should still be your own. There be no plagiarism. All prizes can be rescinded if we find any malpractice that has taken place in the course of this event. I can see some questions coming in on chat, so I will take those towards the end for all those that have them, or otherwise on Discord, which should go live shortly after this this talk. Very good. Okay, any last things I want to remind you of? No, I've got some things I will add at the end after Shreyas, but for now, good sir, would you like to take over?
Yes, let's do it. Hey, everyone.
You're going to share your screen, and I will take some stuff on chat. Thank you, guys.
Sounds great. There we go. Okay, hopefully you should be able to see my screen now. Can you give me a confirmation if you can?
Looking good. Let's go.
Okay, sweet, awesome. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate you all taking the time to jump in this call and learn more about building on Canton Network. I'm Shreyas. I work at Digital Asset. We are one of the core contributors towards the Canton Network ecosystem. And today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the Canton Network and why you should be excited, and talk you through some of the developer resources that we have, and some of the support options that we have for you as builders, and excited to see what you guys built. So with that said, just a super quick introduction about Canton Network in case you're not familiar. Canton is a public permissionless layer 1 blockchain designed for privacy preserving transactions. So unlike traditional blockchains where all the data and transactions are visible to everyone in the network, Canton enables selective disclosures, which means that people only see the data that they're entitled to see. Now, what does that mean? Think of Canton sort of like the internet, right? A network of networks, where you've got different websites, right? Let's say, take your bank, for example, right? You log into chase.com with your credentials. You're only able to access your own information, your account details, and you're only able to make transactions with your account balances, right? You're not able to access any other Chase account that you don't have access to. So that's sort of what we mean by selective privacy, right? And like on a need-to-know basis. So you've got specific access that you get, and that's the bounds within which you can access, right? And then you've got so sort of on the internet, you've got sites like Chase But also you've got open permissionless sites that you can all edit as well, right? That's collaborative, that everyone can edit. So you've got on one side you've got sites with really hard boundaries and guardrails, and on the other side you've got websites where everyone can sort of collaboratively edit and make changes. So think of Canton as an amalgamation of all of that, right? So you've got completely decentralized applications that are building on Canton Network, as well as centralized applications. And the beauty of this is that all of them interoperate at the protocol level, right? That's where we make sure that each of these things are able to talk to each other and integrate seamlessly and play as one single ecosystem, right? So that's something that we take care of at the protocol level. So that's what I mean by public L1 with privacy and data being shared and validated on a need-to-know basis. Now, what makes Canton different for builders? Canton provides sub-transaction privacy, which means that different parties in the same transaction can see only their portions, right? So like I said, in the example that I mentioned, you only get access to the data that you are allowed to see, right? And then you've got decentralized consensus. Obviously, no single entity controls the network. You've got regulatory compliance, which is extremely important for large institutions that are coming in and building on Canton Network. And you've got horizontal scalability, right? So add nodes to scale without global state replication. Now that I've given you a high-level overview of what is Canton Network, again, this is super high-level because in the coming days, we'll talk a bit more deeper into different ecosystems. So one, we've got upcoming talks that talk specifically about the technology layer, and then we've got the ecosystem side as well shortly. So this is sort of a sneak peek into what you will see in the coming weeks as you sort of take part in this hackathon. But just to give you a sense of like who's building on the Canton Network ecosystem today, hopefully you'll be able to recognize some of the names on there. Goldman Sachs, DTCC, the likes of JP Morgan, etc., are building on Canton Network, and we hope that today you too shall build and bring on something really important to the Canton Network ecosystem. Now, with that out of the way, we are again super excited to be partnering with Encode to run this, and excited to work with the team to see what sort of projects come out of this, and we can't wait to see all the different projects that you guys build. We've got 3 different tracks for the hackathon. The first one is private DeFi and capital markets. So this is truly trying to leverage Canton's privacy and confidentiality, especially for institutional workflows, right? So sensitive transactions, confidential lending. There are some projects in there, or like some ideas in there for inspiration. OTC trading workflows, private deal execution, etc. Right? So things that you think would be compelling from that direction is sort of what we're looking for in track 1, which is private DeFi and capital markets. And then you've got TradFi, real-world assets, and tokenized assets. So this, again, focuses a lot on real-world financial infrastructure. A lot of this is actually, in fact, built on Canton Network. If you go to our blogs, you can sort of see all the different RWA assets and partnerships that are being launched very, very frequently, just to get a sense of what are the kinds of projects that people are building on Canton Network. And so this includes business workflows tied to real economic activity, right? So this could be supply chain financing, tokenized deposits, financial products for RWAs. There's so much that you can build on top of these different layers, especially if you are coming from a sort of DeFi native background with a deep understanding of these different markets and workflows. So this is our second track, and the third track is payments, neobanking, and agentic commerce. There's a lot of interest in this whole space around agentic transactions and workflows. So that's something that you can also look at building in terms of payments infrastructure, wallets and neobanking style tools, treasury workflows and products, agentic commerce products with privacy, anything to do with truly integrating privacy into your use cases is sort of what we're looking for in the hackathon as an outcome of one of these tracks. Now, we'll move on to developer resources. Again, I would really hope that you would spend a significant amount of time in this section, specifically going through, in the next couple of days, trying to get a sense of, especially if you're building, let's say, from an Ethereum ecosystem or Solana or other ecosystems. You sort of have a shift in mental models when it comes to building on Canton Network. Again, we'll have more workshops on this to specifically help you as a builder understand about the different workflows, understand about the different concepts and mappings very, very shortly. But this hopefully gives you a sense at a very high level in terms of what are the different resources, right? So first one is the documentation. So if you go to docs.canton.network, we've got so many different tracks within that. And so as you can see, you've got different modules. You almost have a choose your own adventure style workflow where if you are sort of coming from zero blockchain background, here's how you can get started, right? If you're coming from Ethereum or Solana or Solidity background, here's a module to get started. If you've got an understanding of Canton without coding, so if you're an architect, right, or a product manager, right, if you want to get a sense of how to build on Canton Network and to think about the different mental models, we've got that covered for you as well through the tutorials and through the learning modules that we have. So this, I would highly encourage you to spend some time playing around with docs, looking at the different modules that we have for builders, looking at specifically how to think about the conceptual differences, right, when it comes to building on Canton Network. And of course, we've got an AI as well. So you can, if you look at the top, you can see the Ask Assistant button. You can go in there, chat with the AI and ask any questions, hopefully in plain text, and it should give you a useful answer to that. And if not, please do report it. If you find any issues with the pages, you can go scroll to the very bottom and you can raise a ticket or just raise an issue on GitHub if you find something that's inaccurate or that's something that isn't working according to your expectations. So we're truly looking for feedback as well on the whole documentation as well. But this, I would say, is a very important part of your hackathon experience. And then we've got developer tooling. So if you go to devhub.canton.foundation, this is truly built to solve the pain point of trying to aggregate all the different tools in the ecosystem. As more and more people and organizations are building on Canton, everyone's sort of building out tools in the ecosystem to solve their own issues. And so what we're trying to do is like gather all of that within one single place. So it almost gives you like a Lego-like experience, right? You've got building blocks that you can leverage to build, as opposed to building new tools entirely from scratch just to solve for a specific pain point. So hopefully this improves the discoverability of the different tools within the ecosystem, and you can just scroll around, figure out all the different tools that you have access to, and can start building everything from AI tools to local development IDEs to SDKs, data indexing solutions, and much more. So then if you are also building a tool that you would like to get added here, you can go to the top right corner and submit your tool as well to get added into this. So this is maintained by the Canton Foundation as a resource for developers that are building within the Canton ecosystem. And then we've got the Canton Network devs GitHub. Now, this is a repository where we've put in a lot of resources, especially from a hackathon perspective, trying to sort of alleviate the pain points of a hackathon developer that is coming into the ecosystem and making sure that they've got everything that they need when they're just starting to build on Canton, right? So that includes resources, that includes tutorials, that includes tooling, all of that. That also includes FAQs, so things that you might ask as a new developer that is coming into the ecosystem in terms of things that you might encounter as first as you're sort of making your way into the ecosystem, right? So that's what we have here. You've got the catalog page to look at the different catalog toolings, and then the developer tooling guide. And then you've got the Canton Quick Start, which hopefully helps you get started on building on Canton in a very easy way through a full stack experience, right? As opposed to setting up everything on your own. In terms of support, we've got the wonderful folks at Encode Club that are running the Discord. So you can jump into Discord, ask any questions in there. We'll have the team active and hopefully able to support you with all the questions that you have as a builder in the ecosystem. And then secondly, you've got the Canton Network forum. So if you go to forum.canton.network, we've got the app development section in there where you can ask any question that you have. And we've got people in the ecosystem that are active in there, actively answering questions, actively helping each other out. So that's a way for you to sort of discover other projects, other people in the ecosystem who are, hopefully running into the same sort of challenges or, builder experience as you are. And there is probably a question that they've asked about the same sort of issue that you have. So highly recommend checking out the Canton Forum as an avenue for connecting with other builders in the ecosystem and also getting support from other ecosystem participants. And then lastly, as I mentioned, the Docs AI, it's been really helpful for new builders is the feedback